Hello, and welcome to another episode of Solo Challenge Terraforming Mars. Let's go. We have the Venus Next expansion, and it's new, and people are a little confused about what it adds to a solo challenge. So basically, if you play with Venus Next on, in terms of terraforming the whole, or in terms of playing solo challenge, you can see here, like in the bottom, reach a maximum of blah blah blah. Without any of the expansions activated, it's reached the global parameters 3: oxygen, okay, oceans, and heat, the 3 global parameters in 14 generations. If we turn the prelude expansion on, instead of 14 generations, we only get 12. Pretty self-explanatory. You get some bonus up front, but you have less time to do it. With Venus Next, you're adding a 4th global parameter. We have to terraform all of Venus. There's 15 Venus steps. Venus air scraping. Venus has like a runaway greenhouse effect where it is like the hottest planet in the solar system, hotter than Mercury, right? Hotter than the planet that is closer to the sun because of its atmosphere. So terraforming Venus is all about removing some of the greenhouse gases from that atmosphere and bringing it to Mars, potentially, a planet that needs atmosphere in terms of terraforming. We have highlight draw on, so we're playing cards with this Venus tag, this little V here, and we're trying out these new kind of companies. And this one here is a good example. Let's just introduce it. Celestic, specializing in atmospheric infrastructure. Celestic has a key position when it comes to the colonization of Venus and Titan. Lovely. So what they're talking about is these little float things, these little cloud symbols. These are floaters. They're very similar to like animals. They're very similar to microbes. They're very similar to the resources that go on cards that can be activated and used in some way. But unlike animals and stuff, which are hard to move from one card to another, in Venus Next, those floaters are a lot easier to synergize and put on different things. With the colonies expansion, it will get even better for floaters, but this is where they get introduced, the Venus expansion. So in this start, we get to start with $42, and we're going to reveal cards from the top of the deck until we have 2 cards with the floater icon on it. Those could be cards that use floaters. They could be cards that add floaters. We'll talk about that in a second. And also, this corporation gets 1 victory point for every 3 floaters on the card. So if you just use this corporation to put a floater on itself, you know, after 12 generations, you'd have 4 points. Let's just click through and see what we have for starting cards here. Here's an example. Local shading. We buy this card for $4. Once per round, we can activate it. 1 round, we can add a floater on this card. The next generation, we could spend that floater to get a permanent increase to our income. If we put that with our Celestic power, well, all of a sudden we can put a resource from Celestic onto local shading and then consume it, and boom, we've got some income. There are some other really strong cards in here. For instance, Venusian Animals is very powerful. It requires that we terraform quite a bit of Venus, but it gives you a 1-point animal every time you play a science tag. So Venus has some very potent cards that are strong. Atalanta Planitia, for instance, 2 points. You get 2 card draw. This is kind of some late game prestige stuff, but we'll certainly pick it up. We can get some Protected Valleys, and probably Optimal Arrow Breaking is going to be high on the list. Let's double check. Is there something that we want? Like a supply drop might help us accelerate the first turn. I'm not sure that I need a science tag and a titanium income. I think I'd rather get the energy. It's hard to say. I just don't have anything. The thing is, the titanium does work for us. I'm worried that we might end up with a slower start than we want. But at the same time, if we take the supply drop, we're going to be drawing 2 cards on our first turn. And those cards may or may not, or they will have floater tags on them. So they could be helpful. Plus, we're drawing those cards. Let's see. What did we get? We got Aerial Mappers. So this is a good one. Add a floater to any card or spend 1 here to draw a card. Love that. And then again, dirigibles. We've seen this one come up in our other episodes. You can put floaters on this card, and whenever you play Venus tags, you can spend those floaters as if they were $3. So I'm just taking some more time to kind of explain what the hell is going on here. I think that we still open up with, well, the Protected Valley was what I was thinking. That's about 3 income. But so is dirigibles in terms of every time you play a floater onto it, you save a little bit of money, right? So I take dirigibles, I put a floater on it. That means that I could take aerial mappers and spend that floater. Yep. And then we could, again, we can take aerial mappers and put a resource on dirigibles. Then we can play local shadings. We'll use that floater. This, for the record, local shading, the floater has to go on this card, whereas all our other cards can move floaters anywhere. So then this floater from Celestic will put on local shading, and boom, we get a free income. Now, we've built a mechanic here where with our Celestic, with our dirigibles, and with our aerial mappers, we can put floaters on a bunch of different cards for points benefits at the end of the game, for money for Venus cards now, for card draw, or for money income. And this floater mechanic gives us more flexibility than like you might get with like a microbe card. Some microbe cards say add a microbe to another card, spend those microbes and raise the temperature, up the oxygen. But floaters have so much more inherent flexibility in how you can use them. We still have enough steel and titanium and stuff left over. Let's just get this deep well heating for a heat bump, and away we go. All right, now, as I mentioned, we have to terraform 1, 2, 3, 4 planetary metrics now. We have to do all of Mars, which is these 2 columns plus the oceans. And then there's this extra column with Venus. And it does have a little card draw and an extra TR that you can get from the track. Lovely. That makes terraforming the whole planet and Venus harder because there's 15 additional terraforming steps that we have to get done. However, 11 times, I'm pretty sure 11, not 12, but that's up for debate. I still haven't been confirmed. The government, at the end of every turn, the government of Mars, or of terraforming the planet, will step in and terraform one of the 4 metrics for you. You don't get any of the bonuses. So if I was about to bump Venus to get a free card draw, or bump the temperature to get a heat income, I wouldn't get that. The government somewhere out of the game would get this. This happens in competitive games as well. The player whose first turn it was for that generation gets to select at the end of the generation. So you can like set things up or block them or what have you. So for me, I'm going to take the world government, and what are we going to do with it? None of these cards have requirements other than pushing Venus up to 12% or 18%. So let's just do either a Venus bump or a temperature bump. I'm going to start with the temperature bump because these Venus things are very high up. The temperature bump gets us very close to getting this heat income. Here are some other cards for helping us terraform the planet. A lot of Venus cards are coming up this round. Holy. So floating habs is really interesting only because, again, you can spend money to add a floater to any card. So it costs money, unlike the cards that we have. But again, has that flexibility. But also it's worth 1/2 points instead of like our company, our corporation, is worth 1/3 points. It says it in this text. There really should be here on the side. There should be a circle that says 1 for every 3, like this does here. This is 1 for every 2. So this could be a good card for points. Then Orbital Reflectors is very good in terms of 2 heat income for Mars and 2 Venus bumps for Venus. Very nice. And then Rotator Impacts is using an asteroid resource. This is different than floaters, different from microbes. Basically, you can put an asteroid onto a card by paying a cost of $6, which can be using titanium. And then on another activation, you can activate it to spend that asteroid and get a Venus bump. So very lovely cards. We won't be able to use them all. And in fact, I think that the Habitats one I likely won't play until... I won't play it until later in the game when we're looking to score points, because spending $2 on a floater is really not that economically helpful. Let's go in here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to make one of my wild floaters always go to local shading, and we're just going to keep getting income from that, one income. And then we'll also go here. I don't know, we could go for card draw or we could go for discounts. I'm not sure which one's best right now. Let me do a... Because we have Venus tags that we want to play, specifically orbital reflectors, let's go ahead and put floaters onto dirigibles just to get our engine off the ground. I think later on we might focus more on card draw, but there we go. Again, the government's stepping in, and it might seem convenient that the government's helping us. It is convenient because it's flexible. We can set up oceans, we can set up bumps of things that we don't want to do, let's say oxygen, but you still only get 11 bumps from the government and you still need to do 15 additional steps. So it is more work, but it does make getting to 63 TR a lot easier. Let's do one of those Venus bumps. Venus Way Station. Okay, we're getting some of the really good stuff here. -2 discount on Venus tags. We love that. Ecological zone, something like GHG producing bacteria could be nice, and sulfur research is also cool. You get 1 card draw and 2 points on a science tag, or if you have 3 Venus tags, which, I mean, we already at 4. It's just good. It's just good. Let's not worry about it. So, Venus Way Station, we can play that using some floaters and stuff. And now you cost $24. If I get $6 more worth of floaters from aerial mappers and dirigibles, we will be good to go. So I also want to make sure I get my Celestic one on local shading. So I'm glad that I used this this run as the run to explain how Venus is different, and specifically how floaters work, because my god, we are using them. So remember last round we spent $6 out of titanium to build an asteroid? Now we can cash in that asteroid and boom, Venus is going up. And then we're going to play orbital reflectors, and that's going to give us 2 more Venus bumps, and on the track, boom, that gets us a free card draw. So we actually ended up getting Heather. Not bad. I do like Heather. And we do want to keep pushing up this kind of Venus stuff. So let's hit next. That, or actually what's more critical than Venus right now is probably just pushing up the oxygen. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at this. Venus magnetizer. A Venus bump for the cost of an energy, right? Which can be hard to do sometimes. But a $7 energy in power plant and a $7 activatable energy in space mirrors. So those make it very easy for me to invest, basically. So which one do we need first? Oh, this is at 10% Venus. Annoying. Now I'm like, ugh. Venus needs to be 1 step higher. It will be next gen, so maybe we don't concern ourselves with it too badly. I'm gonna hit no on that. That's my call. What do we want to focus on? Like, I feel like I'm between 2 pathways. One is the oxygen to get GHG producing bacteria. The other is just leaning into all this Venus shenanigans. We have this. Probably, I mean, I could probably lean into the card draw at this point. So let's just do a card draw this round. We put a floater on aerial mappers and we'll cash it in. And we got Venus soil. So that gives us 2 microbes, a Venus bump, and a plant income. In case you're wondering, like, how hard is it to get a Venus bump? If we go to standard projects, we can see asteroid is 14, ocean 18, greenery 23. You should be familiar with these. Air scraping or scrapping, I think it's scraping. Who knows, man. Is $15. So it's slightly more expensive than a heat bump. Not anything we're too worried about, but hey, just something to float. It is Gen 4. How do I feel overall? We went from 14 TR to 21, which is 7. Plus we have this 4 income here. Not too many metals. So economically, we're probably on the lower side, like moderately. But if you consider all these effects that we have, a discount on Venus isn't so big. But hey, dirigibles and all of this floating infrastructure, I think that we're pretty good there. In terms of terraforming, we've done quite a few steps. I know the government has done 3 steps, about to do 4, but we've done 7. So we're happy with that. We're actually really doing well in terms of terraforming. Late game, I mean, we have a lot of Venus infrastructure. I think Venus is going to go up quite quickly. It's more, I'm concerned about oxygen, I would say, and heat to an extent. So I think that we're above average income, below average terraform, despite having a good head start. We're going to keep pushing the oxygen with the government. Venus Governor is great for us. 2 Venus tags means that it's -2 cost. It's free to play and gives us 2 income. We could use something like an ore processor to help push the oxygen, but I'd rather not. I don't know why, I just would rather not. It's only Gen 5. Maybe we'll grab grass because I'm not planning to do it the other way. So let's do that. Local shading. Let's keep getting that 1 income every round. Let's use our asteroid from the previous round. That gets us to 10%. Do I care to get discounts? Let's get discounts this round, as in putting dirigibles on it. Or putting dirigibles floaters on itself. And what do we want to do? We could use at least 1 here for the Venus magnetizer. And that's going to start costing us an energy, but it's going to start pushing up the Venus, which we like. We could play stratospheric birds. I'm still not sure if I can break the game by playing stratospheric birds, using the dirigible to pay for it, and then it being confused as to where my dirigible, like you have to pay a second floater and I wouldn't have any. Let's just not break the game and not think about it. Maybe it works. Maybe it gives you an error. But I don't want to know. Then I think next we just play our protected valley. I mean, let's push the oxygen as hard as we can. That means that we're 1 away from being able to play our GHG producing bacteria. We haven't got any space events, which is annoying. And what is also annoying is I can play space mirrors here for a titanium, but I'm missing $1 to buy an energy income. Not that I need it this gen, but I would have liked to buy it. So now here comes the government. Let's let the government do that last oxygen bump, so then we're at 4%. Lunar beam for some energy seems okay. Adapted lichen seems fine. We do get money and heat back on space events, so this Venus thing is probably fine. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. We have like 6 clicks, maybe 9 clicks. We might already have all the Venus bumps that we need just based on these 2 things here. Plus this Venus soil's in our pocket. I'm actually not going to pick this card up. Let's go a little bit lean. We'll get that heat bump finally for that heat income. We'll keep putting local shading things down. Eventually putting floaters on dirigibles for the $3 discount on Venus will be more meaningful than 1 income. But I don't think we're there yet. So we'll do a Venus bump. Let's it'd be great to get 2 more Venus bumps right now, but there's just no way to do it without playing a science tag. So let's just play the science tag. GG producing. Okay, so that's good. Now I think we can play Venus Soils and get that heat bump this gen. It's just a question of, like, let's get this asteroid made out of titanium. Can we still play Venus Soils? We can. If I got a $6 discount on it, we could also play Lunar Beam. So let's do that instead. So one floater onto dirigibles, another floater onto dirigibles, and now Venus Soils is going to pop off. It's going to get us a plant income. It's going to get us the microbes for GHG producing bacteria, and it's going to get us the bonus TR from the track. Then we can go here and spend those resources. Lovely. Lunar Beam is going to help us in terms of getting our heat production up, so we actually get the heat bump next round for this heat off the track. And again, we could play Floating Habs. At this point, though, I wouldn't even have enough money to buy the floater. Though every time you buy a floater, it could be worth, you know, plus $1 if you buy it for $2 and cash it in for $3. But that's just not the rate of return I'm looking for. Let's do another oxygen bump, but actually, let's do an ocean bump. We haven't seen any oceans yet. We can put an ocean here and start building some adjacencies. Heat bumps from asteroid, very, very nice. Sulfur-eating bacteria can be so powerful. It's $3 of income per turn. Let's try it out. Science tag from natural preserve. I don't think that's super good, but I guess it's okay. We already have a 1-point animal coming. So let's grab these cards. Let's bump Venus with an energy. And bump this. So now we can get, and again, I'm going to just do these floaters first, because it gets us quite a bit of like income and rebates. I get an income from this floater, then dirigibles I put on itself, and then floating aerial mappers. In a competitive game, for the record, always use this for card draw, right? But in a solo challenge where you need economic, you know, gusto, here we are. So Venusian animals, I'm now going to get a 1-point animal every time I play a science tag. And I've got 1, 2, 3 science tags ready to go. This is the one that has to be played now, or it gets... we won't be able to play it next round, basically. So let's play that now. What else? Do we already have resources on? Yeah, okay. We already have what we need for the rotator impacts. So that Venus bump is well done. What is next? We have $18. I mean, I guess if I do plan on playing Floating Halves for $3, then we can use it. Again, I'm just going to spend $2 to get a dirigible. And that dirigible is going to give me a $3 discount. Every time I use it, we're basically just making $1 profit until we start using it for points. So that's so far so good. Let's go here, get a microbe there. So we're going to keep building up microbes on sulfur-eating bacteria. Every round we can add 1 or we can cash out. The best thing to do is to cash out on a turn where you have a big break point in terms of cards in your hand. But the more you can add to it without cashing out, like you don't want to put 1 on and cash it out, put 1 on and cash it out, because then you're spending too many actions cashing rather than putting. You want to put, and then cash all at once. In terms of this gen, I think we just get another plant income. That's fine. And I'm just going to put a greenery over here. Knowing full well that I'm just waiting for some oceans to get placed on this end. Okay, let's pass. Gen 8, I feel like we're doing pretty well. I mean, obviously Venus has been moving. Heat bumps need quite a bit of help. Let me just do... It's heat bump... No, I'm going to do an oxygen still, but heat is high on my list. Lake Marineris will help for later. We can have sister planet support. We do have at least 1 Earth tag, right? Yes, we do. So is it worth spending $8 to get $3? Gen 9, 10, 11, 12. $12. $8 for $12. I guess that makes sense. Aerosport tournament, very good in a competitive game. Not relevant here. Money for cities in play. So let's not worry about that. Energy for Venus bump seems nice. Just keep using that. Keep putting microbes onto you. Keep putting microbes onto you. Getting to minus 16 would have been nice. I probably should have used the government to help push up that metric. Let's start using... I'm going to do Celestic onto local shading like I always do. But let's start doing dirigible onto aerial mapper and getting that kicked off. Space hotels. Well, actually, lucky for me, we can do that. Let's start with a little bit of card draw, though. So I have enough to get sulfur eating or sulfur research to give me 3 cards. Let's just pay out for that. Spin inducing asteroid, way too late for you. Insulation, boo. Okay, now let's do optimal arrow braking. Unless I think we can do even more. Let's do a Atalanta Planitia for 2 more card draw. Regolith Eaters, Rover Construction, Biomass Combustors. Okay, now we'll do optimal arrow braking. We'll do our asteroid. That'll give us some money back and some titanium. We'll do sister planet support. And then I actually don't have as much money as I thought I would. I don't want to sell 5 cards, do I? Like, I don't really need stratospheric birds. 1, 2, 3. Those cards are basically all useless. So it's just a question of whether I want Regolith Eaters or Rovers. I mean, they're both worth 1 point because this science tag is worth the 1 point animal. But I just don't think I need it. Okay, we're back. Sometimes people just create emergencies for you. And it's fine. It's fine. Let's sell some cards. Let's get our $4 of production from Space Hotels. It's late, but never, like, I was about to say, it's better not to be more late when it comes to getting production cards, or it's just not worth playing them. So we're up to, what is that, 18 production of money, plus all this TR. The government, what do we need the government's help on? Probably... I mean, I can play both these plant tags next turn. Honestly, more than anything, I think we just need some oceans. Like, I need things to get money back from when we play cards here. So these are all good. Again, this is pretty fun. They even add the Venus section. Adaptive technology. I'm not sure that we need adaptation, though. It is worth an extra point, though. It's worth 2 points because of the point for every Venus thing. This is an interesting card. You can add 1 Venus resource to any card. Well, we have 1 point animals as Venus, so let's hit done. Let's grab all of those. I'm going to keep using aerial mappers to draw cards. I ended up getting a strip mine. That could have bailed us out if we did find ourselves in a weird situation. Let's get our microbes. Let's get our heat bump. Let's do this heat bump as well. So now we're able to play both our plant tags. I think it's fair to play Celestic on either dirigibles or floating habs. I think we can go on to floating habs now, actually. This local shading is a little slow at this point, so I'm just going to let it play on itself for free. And then floating habs we can keep putting on it, so that's already worth a point. And it costs us... 1 second. It's going to cost us $7 per Venus bump using energy, right? So I buy an energy, and then I come here and I spend an energy for the Venus bump. So it's still better to spend $6 and, like, wait a turn. It's basically the same, but it is what it is. Corroder Suits is 2 income, but again, we can get a 1 point animal from it, so that's nice. Grass, that allows us to put a greenery down in the pocket here. Heather, and yeah, we really got to get more oceans, got to get this algae popping. So let's, I guess we're going to have to start doing standard projects. Unless we can get a card for oceans. Wouldn't that be nice? We'll get another ocean from the government. We'll put it here. Even though we're kind of killing ourselves for adjacencies, that would be nice. Okay, insects for plant income. I have 5 plant tags right now, so that's pretty nice. Extremophiles help, but not for what we need to do right now. Pets, I'm just not sure that any of this is needed. Like, I have rover construction. It could go with pets. But, like, pets is probably going to be worth at most 2 points. I have plenty of kind of 2-point things that I can do. So, let's keep going with aerial mappers. And a wild tag. Interesting. Let's get this income. Let's get this Venus bump. Keep getting heat. And yeah, I think I have to start standard project oceans, right? Like it's... I mean, I could cheat algae out using adaptation technology, but I'm not sure that that's really even that much smarter. If I put an ocean here, and I put an aquifer up here for the cards. Stratopolis is interesting, certainly. It is a city as well. Livestock is a 1-point animal. So algae is nice. A wild tag, and then insects is for 7 plant income. That is a tremendous number of plants. That's pretty good. We need so much heat though. What is going on? Holy. We could buy an enter. I'm gonna get another microbe here. Do you want Stratopolis? Probably. It's a point per turn. So let me get rover construction to get money back on city placements. Let me use Celestic on dirigibles. And I'm even going to use floating halves on dirigibles. Just make sure we have as much discount as possible. I'm going to play Stratopolis. You can get a couple bucks back. And then I can put 2 floaters down per action. Let's go ahead and do floating halves. How do we feel? We have 2 generations to do quite a bit of work. And if we have to keep doing standard projects, it's going to be tough. Let's do just a heat bump. Okay, cheap ocean, cheap heat bumps, space stuff that I don't care about. Okay, moving along. Celestic onto aerial mappers for card draw. Large convoy. Whoo, baby. Remember, we do have, like, rebates on space events. You wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be upset if you forgot, but it is a, like, core thing that we have going on for us. Let's try this large convoy. It'll get us some card draw. It'll get us these animals. 4 1-point animals is lovely. It's a space event, so it gives us a little bit of heat back, which is pretty critical, because with 2 extra heat bumps, we get another ocean from the track. And then Lake Marineris, we didn't even need this one. But we didn't know until now, so let's not kick ourselves. Let's just take the wins as we get them. Full with Space Haven, I don't think we need you. I mean, I would love a little bit more energy. Well, first we got to put a greenery here, of course. Then we probably start putting greeneries along the bottom. And if we're not going to use our titanium, then we should just go for card draw and money with these ocean placements. Trees. I mean, we're going to have 16 plant income. That's enough to get the rest of the oxygen that we need, basically. Just from pickups. And, I mean, open city's going to work out pretty well. 2 things I need to do right now. Well, quite a few things, actually. How many bacteria do we have? Sulfur eating, we have 3. I really want to cash you on the last turn. But I want to buy an energy for this. I guess I don't have to. I could just... We got to get this rock ready, the asteroid ready for next round. And then... This isn't going to do anything for us, so it's fine. Where do we want to add floaters? Probably just keep going for points. Floating habs, dirigibles onto floating habs, and then one more $2 thing onto floating habs. That's like quite a few points on floating habs already. And then GHG producing is going to be at an even couple microbes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm $1 off of doing space mirrors, but I'm not going to cash our money out yet. I'm gonna do that. We are at 63 TR though, for those keeping score at home. We have absolutely been terraforming. Let's get a free heat bump, even though oxygen is more expensive. There's some energy and some 1-point animal goodness. That should mean that we have enough. Especially when I go to sulfur-eating bacteria and we pop off there. But first, we can go GG-producing bacteria. I think that we want to scoop this money up underneath. Seems pretty evident to me. I need that power. So we do geothermal for 2 power. We can spend 1 of it for this bump. This has nothing to do but give us an income. Yeah. I mean, do we have anything that gives us microbes? No. So let's go here and go to our microbes and cash out all 5. That's 15 extra bucks. Not a bad little compensation. Let's go ahead and get Eos Chasma, again, getting 1-point animals. Open City. I should have put a greenery here first. Well, we have enough for greeneries in the post phase anyway. We do get money back on cities because of rovers, but that's not that notable. Let's go ahead and we got an asteroid set up last turn, so that's the last Venus bump. We did paste that correctly. Yeah, I mean, buying cities, how is that not going to be like the best thing to do? Though the grid's going to be messy. I could build a city here and then pop greenery all through there. Put a city there just for the 2 extra plants. That's worth 2 points. Livestock's worth a point. 25 bucks for Phobos Space Haven. Might be okay. We do have a titanium. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do as many floaters onto floating habs right now. And I'm going to buy that heat bump before I forget. Like, maybe there's a world in which rebates make it not needed. But hey, let's not worry about that. We got 14 floaters on floating habs. That is 7 points worth. Asteroid bump means that the heat is completed. And then, yeah, and then it's a city. This one here will have 2 points up front with chances for more. That's worth 2 points as well. I just, you know, both of these is 3 points, but I'm just concerned that, like, if I built a city here for these 2 plants, we would have enough plants for more greenery adjacencies, right? I guess we'd be slightly off still. Right, because a city here would get us close. And then if I picked up one thing over here, yeah, I would get an extra greenery, but they're not adjacent in a way that's meaningful. I don't know. I could just buy a greenery, but I mean, at this point, we're kind of splitting hairs. Right. I have so many moves that are worth 3 points. Like if you think about it, okay, you build the city here and you get an extra granary out here at the end of the day. Great. That is 3 points. Okay, I could buy Foe's Space Haven. That's 3 points. Okay, I could buy Adaptation Technology and Livestock. That's also 3 points. Like, it's all 3 points. So let's just do the Space Haven, because, hey, that's cool, I guess. And then we'll call it a day. We could sell 5 cars. That would get us to $8. That's not enough for anything. So we pass. And then a greenery in between and a greenery up here. Not bad, not bad. 128, baby. We have been knocking it out of the park with Venus Next. Holy. Head in the clouds. It gives me this achievement every time we play. It does not. It doesn't remember. But hey, what did we do? We have 3 metrics in Terraforming Mars Solo Challenge. We want we want to terraform the whole planet, which now is the whole planet. So there's 4 metrics. So we want to terraform everything. We did that. We want to get over 100 points. We did that. And we want to get at least 63 TR. My God, every time we're going over like plus 10 or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.